everybody, it's Tyler here with Between Casts, and today we're going to go over all of my camping gear and how I camp on a budget as a college student. So let's just get right into it. I don't want to waste any time. So this is specifically going to be backpacking related. I will go over some overlanding related stuff at the end, but I just have my bag with me and I will add in any gaps as we go. So to start off with the bag, it is from Cabela's and I got this on Facebook Marketplace. You're going to see that be a common theme of today's video. Everything I buy is off Marketplace or I get it for free. Typically is how it goes. Camping gear is really expensive. That's probably the reason why you're on this video. So I try to get everything used because it is extremely significantly cheaper. Let's look it up because I have no idea. It's old. It says approximately 50 liter. So it's an approximately 50 liter bag. Holds a ton of stuff. This is definitely plenty if you're trying to plan some backpacking trips in the near future. I bought this and the sleeping bag that I'm going to show you guys for 20 bucks. It was a fantastic deal on Marketplace. I also got a bunch of other free stuff from that lady, but I'm not going to count that. So look on Marketplace and find a bag for really cheap. You can find a lot of nice ones for really cheap like I did, or in the typically $30 to $50 range. So that's where I would start. Let's open this up. Next, we just got a bunch of clothes. During winter and obviously summer too, I like to have spare clothes with you. I normally bring one set of clothing with full set extra, and then if you're going on a really long trip, maybe 2 to 3, but I think this is really all you need if it's a 2 to 3 day trip. This is just whatever you want it to be. You could do night clothes, or if you just want it to be switching back and forth. I think it's better to have one set of hiking clothes, one set of night clothes, so you don't stink at the campsite. But set of clothes, definitely not the most tiniest amount, but I got a pair of sweatpants in here, and that's really what it is, because during really cold times, you got to be warm. So that's that. With a 0 degree bag, things get a little tight in the tent, or tight in the backpack. This is the Slumberjack 2-person Daybreak tent. I do a 2-person because normally I'm bringing somebody with, but if you're only going by yourself, obviously look for a 1-person tent. I paid 30 bucks on Marketplace for this, the poles, everything. It's got its footprint as well. I packed the poles separately because then you can put this on the outside of your bag. You want to try and get almost as much as you can on the outside without it being super duper bulky, because then you can pack more for food or have more room for food and packing other things in your backpack. But this tent, it's, again, not the lightest. That's not what we're going for here. We're going for budget. You can find a lot of tents like this, similar in the, again, $20 to $40 range. Just look up backpacking tents and see what's around. Definitely take your time. Another thing is take your time and don't jump on the first thing you see, because there are a lot of good deals. However, I try to find things that will work for long term if I want to take these things backpacking, things like that, and not be extremely heavy or bulky. So take your time and you will find the stuff you need. So sleeping bags can be very expensive, and trying to find one for backpacking specifically can be really expensive. If you're looking for something that works for anything, you can get them cheap, but I want to provide an honest review for things. Again, you can use long-term for backpacking, for overlanding, for just normal camping. So you have freedom to do what you want. And if you want to make this investment now, then you can carry it on. But I got very lucky with this one. A family member of mine was in the military and had military issued bags, down sleeping bags, and I actually got them passed on to me. So I'm very, very thankful for these. This is a 0 degree, and then I have a 30 degree bag as well, but this is actually not the one he gave me. This is the first one I bought that came with that backpack that I was talking about earlier. This is a Eureka Silver City 30 degree bag. If you want a 30 degree bag or you're not doing cold weather camping, they're definitely a lot cheaper. You can find things that work for backpacking and pack down small for under 50 bucks pretty easily. Again, take a look on Marketplace. That's where I'm buying everything. But ask around if you do have family that do camp and everything, see if they have anything old. I got lucky enough that I had the one family member in the military, but no one else really camps in my family. So everything is going from Marketplace originally. But these sleeping bags will do a great job. Don't worry about buying the most expensive thing. Buy something that works and move forward. So next thing that kind of matters is your sleeping pad. So if you're doing cold weather camping, you need a high R value, and that's where things start to get pricey once again. I am a warm sleeper. From my research and comfort, the coldest I've camped in was around 0 degrees, and I have a R value of 3.5 degrees, and this, or not degrees, but R value of 3.5, and this has done me well. And I would say for most people, look in the 4 to 5 range minimum for 0 degree camping. I got this for, again, $30 off Marketplace. You can find, I know I had another deal that I bought for this sleeping pad. These are Teenage Outdoors sleeping pads. I got 2 of them for $20. You can get these really cheap. I went with this one. It's a little nicer. It's a higher R value and a little lighter. So I wanted to upgrade. But again, $30 to the hundreds of dollars that people spend on these things is pretty good. So one is a Thermarest, and Thermarest is a quality brand. I know a lot of people like Nemo, but Nemo is super duper expensive. So that's how you're going to do that one on a budget. Look into all the smaller stuff. So first thing, lights. Lights are important. You need lighting. Lights with you is way more important than you think. I realized that the first time I went camping and I didn't have enough like good lights, and it was just a pain. It's really annoying. You don't want to have to rely on your phone flashlight because it is not nearly as good in dark. Someone's at the door. 1 second. Yes.
You're doing a video?
Yeah, I'm making a video right now. You gotta say hi?
Hacking?
Yeah, no, I'm explaining how to camp
Camping what?
on a budget.
So you stand here and you're like...
Yeah. Those are some of my residents here coming in to say hey. But yeah, so lighting is very important. Focus on having good lighting. Make sure everything's charged before you leave, or if you have batteries. So let's go over it. I think it was at Costco for like $20. There's a lantern, a headlight, and then the flashlight. The flashlight was kind of crappy, but everything else works fine. So this does the job. I'm more than happy with it. Nothing special. It does not hold battery extremely well, so I typically replace it after 2 trips if it's like 3 days. A little lantern that goes you can put it in your tent, hang it up. Nice to have. I would say definitely have 2 to 3 lights minimum, at least 1 light per person, because you're going to realize very quickly how much you're going to need light at night. I wouldn't say you have to spend a lot of money on, just make sure you have it. That being said, I also bring a bunch of extra batteries, little AA's and AAA's. You just want to have them. Lights are so necessary, and if you run out of light, you're really going to be screwed. Thing is fire starter. Don't buy expensive fire starter. That's such a waste of money. It's so dumb. Buy cotton balls and Vaseline. That's all you need, and all I do is dip these things in Vaseline, soak them up in there, and these things light so well and stay lit for a good little bit of time. Get a lot of damp wood here in the Midwest. Whenever I go camping, mostly throughout fall and everything, wet or damp, and then typically stays that way if we get rain. Having fire starter is extremely helpful because there are many times where it's taken me like an hour to start a fire, and if I would have just used it or had it, would have gotten way faster. So definitely bring that with. It's something small that is so nice to have. When you're camping, you don't want to stink. Unless you're by yourself and you don't really care, you probably should have some hygiene. So toothbrush, toothpaste. Again, I had this at my dentist. They had them there, so I took one. I just cut a toothbrush in half and then used that. And then this was a free hand sanitizer I got from an event here at school. Thing that you can get that I like to bring with, because if you are doing any, if you're getting water from the campsite, whether it be from a stream nearby, water doesn't always taste the best after filtering. It's not always amazing. I just get liquid IV packets. You can buy these cheap, like value brand, like $5 for a bunch of them. Luxury item, I guess, if you want to say it. You really don't need that. Your hygiene stuff that you need. Also have paracord, just good to have in case you need to hang stuff, in case you need to set stuff up. Doesn't hurt. I have a poncho, or I used to have a poncho. You can buy really cheap ones that are disposable, and I dispose of mine. But you really don't need those unless you are going into somewhere really wet and you want to take that extra step. I'm trying to think if there's anything else big. So for cooking, depending on the time of year, if it's cold enough, you don't have to worry about refrigerating things. It's under 40 degrees, I typically don't really worry about it. If it's over, you do have to think about what you're going to bring and what doesn't need to be refrigerated. They make those pre-made meals. Those can be very expensive. You can also do very simple things with breads and trail mixes and things like that that don't have to be refrigerated. Again, it's how willing are you to be comfortable versus surviving. I typically are on the side of surviving because I don't have the money to buy the nicest stuff and a bunch of things, and I also don't want to spend a lot when I'm camping. Biggest expense easily is gas by a mile, not even close to anything else. Typically spend $20 to $30 on a 3 to 4 day trip, just food alone, and that's, I would say, pretty good. I'll make a video for what you can make for backpacking and camping on a budget. A lot of people have the Jetboil systems. I do not have one of those, so I just didn't make anything hot whenever I went backpacking. I do have like a little like stove in my truck that I got for $20. I use for all of my cooking and camping needs, and that was off Marketplace. You buy utensils and everything on Marketplace as well, which doesn't bother me. I just didn't find any that worked for me at the time, so I actually bought. Walmart has like a little set, which I believe is $15 to $20 for like and everything you could need. That's should be everything you need for camping. Other than like clothes and stuff like that, again, it's how much do you want to spend and how much do you want to get into it in depth wise. Things used, buy boots used. You can buy a pair of boots for $20 to $40 off Marketplace. You need jackets, things like that. You can get them off Marketplace once again. And also, thrift stores should be your best friend as well, mostly for jackets and things like that and heavyweight apparel, because that stuff gets so expensive and there are so many nice jackets, things like that you can find. So definitely take a look at thrift stores. And TJ Maxx also do a great job of providing cheaper clothing, not very cheap. That if I'm feeling myself and want to treat myself, that's where I would go. Should be like everything you guys would need for a camping trip. Oh, and I do have toilet paper too. Bring a little shovel. I have a little hand one. I have it in the back of my truck right now. It's not with me. It would also be good to have, so when you have to poop, you're in the clear. That honestly is everything you would need. I bring a little journal as well for journaling, and then a book to read, but all that stuff I don't count that towards your necessities. Overall, looking at everything we have in front of me, that sleeping bag and backpack, that was $25. I think the tent was $30, $55. Pad was also $30, so I think $85. $20 was $105. Let's just say $10 for all the little hygiene stuff, so $115. Cotton balls, paracord, let's just say $125. I'm not going to put clothes price on there because you don't need those. $125 to fully be able to camp and backpack and do everything is pretty good. You can skimp on a lot of these things of like, you don't have to have the cotton balls and stuff. You don't have to have the hygiene stuff. A lot of people already have that stuff. Flashlights, you probably already have a flashlight that you can bring with and things like that. You can cut out a lot of that price too. I would say do not get discouraged. Go camping and do these things while you're young, while you have time. And if you're not young, that doesn't mean you shouldn't. You should always be ready to get started and try it. I never camped growing up and everything, so this is totally new to me as well. I just started last year and I picked it up super, super heavily. If you're not planning to backpack, you don't need the nicest stuff. Put it in the back of your car and go, and you can find a lot of that stuff even cheaper than what I showed you today. This stuff can all be thrown in a backpack to be able to do backpacking, but if you're trying to find stuff that just goes in the back of the truck and go and park at a campsite, that works fantastically as well. Try to do more backpacking stuff because you don't have to pay for campsites in that way. Again, cuts down on the costs, but you again don't want to spend the extra money now and that's what you need to do, then do that, and that's okay. Always a way, and you will be able to find it if you look hard enough. If you guys have any questions, comment down below, feel free. I'm more than happy to help out and answer any of those. I'll be reading the comments, but that's how you camp on a budget as a college student. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you want more content like this. I really appreciate it. It helps me start to do this. I got a bunch of videos hopefully coming up soon with a bunch of travel content. So we'll be getting it going. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and see you guys later.